In today's video, we will be discussing whether or not it's possible for LeBron James to play with Bronny and Bryce in the NBA. But before we start, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Without further ado, let's get started. LeBron James is arguably the greatest player ever to play the game of basketball. He has sustained a level of greatness longer than any historically great player ever, which is mostly due to the insane amount of hours and money he puts into his body year-round. Heading into year 20, LeBron hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. In year 19, he averaged 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Los Angeles Lakers. While this season I doubt he'll average 30 a game, there is no doubt he'll continue performing at an all-star level. The 18-time All-Star follows a strict training regimen that has kept him strong and healthy all these years. To play at such a level for a long time, you have to be seriously motivated. And, as well as we know, one of the biggest motivations is getting the opportunity to play with his son, Bronny James. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, this is what he had to say on possibly playing with his son. "I like to throw things out in the airwaves, but I'm not one to say what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. LeBron told Sports Illustrated, "I'm a visionary, but I'm also a guy that lives in the moment. I'd definitely be looking at who got first round picks in 2024, 2025, things of that nature. 2026, 27. I pay attention to that type of stuff." This statement alone shows just how committed he is to play alongside Bronny in the future. But in order for him to actually play with his son, he would have to remain in impeccable shape for at least another 2 to 3 years. LeBron is aware of this and had to say this. "So it's all up to the body, but more importantly, my mind." LeBron told Sports Illustrated, "If my mind can stay sharp and fresh and motivated, then the sky's not even the limit for me. I can go beyond that, but we shall see." Bronny James is now entering his senior year of high school, which means he would be eligible for the NBA draft in 2024 when his father is about 40 years old. While he is eligible for a draft in a couple of years, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that he will be drafted. But before we go any further, let's take a deep dive into Bronny James' game. Bronny is currently ranked 35th in the class of 2023. The 6'3" guard also ranks 10th at his position and 7th in the state, which has earned him offers from notable colleges like Duke, Memphis, and even Michigan, to name a few. Bronny didn't just get all those offers from his father's name. The kid actually has game. Like his father, Bronny is an excellent passer with great court vision. Even in his young career, he has shown the ability to throw various passes, bounce passes, over-the-head skip passes, and even behind-the-back passes, all fall in his offensive arsenal. He's even shown the IQ to run pick and rolls and really utilize his cutters to roll men. And as for shooting, he's always had pretty good mechanics, but his overall confidence has taken it to a different level. He isn't the player to take bad shots, but he often takes what the defense gives him and makes them pay whenever they make a mistake. Bronny is without a doubt a better shooter than his father was at that age. But maybe that's because he isn't the freak of nature LeBron was. In high school, LeBron was obviously a more superior athlete than everyone else on the court. While Bronny is pretty explosive himself, there's no comparison in that aspect of their games. Defensively, Bronny competes well and is often very engaged. He is always actively looking to get a passing lane steal and is very quick on his feet when moving laterally. His upside on that side of the ball is extremely high. Recently in August, Bronny and the California club basketball team faced off against a French select team on their Euro tour. While up 12 points, Bronny pulled off one of the most electrifying high school dunks I've ever seen. This dunk sent shockwaves through the basketball world and showed just how far Bronny James has come as a player. Current NBA players such as Stephen Curry, Ja Morant, and even his own father reposted the video on social media. He finished the game with 25 points even though it ended with a loss. All in all, Bronny James has shown tremendous upside and is surely making many scouts around the NBA very proud. While he isn't the best in his class, his talent and potential is undeniable. Now, how exactly can LeBron and Bronny play together? Well, as you know, LeBron recently signed a 2-year, $97 million contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. Bronny is eligible to be drafted in 2024, and LeBron can become a free agent that summer. Even at 40 years old, I'm sure any team will love to add LeBron to their roster, furthering the potential of him and Bronny teaming up. Unfortunately for the Lakers, this means that the once dominant duo LeBron and Anthony Davis could soon come to an end. With LeBron being committed to the decision to play with his son, this gives the Lakers a 2-year period to bring home another championship. Bronny's future is still up for grabs. Like I mentioned earlier, there is no guarantee he will be good enough to even make it to the NBA. And I'm sure LeBron is prepared for this outcome as well. If Bronny falls short of his NBA dreams, LeBron James will have no problem returning to Los Angeles. But with the drastic improvement Bronny has been making, it's becoming more likely he'll end up in the NBA eventually. Now that we've discussed his oldest son, Let's take a look at his youngest son, Bryce James. Bryce had never received the same type of media attention and coverage as his brother, but recently that has all changed. According to reports, Bryce James stands at 6'4" at only 15 years old. After one post of Bryce and his father standing side by side went viral, many fans were speculating just how good he could become. Bryce has a smooth, all-rounding scoring game with the ability to hit spot-up jumpers and mid-range shots around the basket. While it's obvious he's still pretty raw, let's not forget he's only a sophomore in high school with more than enough time to polish his game. And being that young means another potential growth spurt is in the near future. He still plays great fundamental basketball with much poise and confidence. But could LeBron play long enough to play with him also? Bryce will be eligible for the NBA draft in 2026 when LeBron is about 43 years old. He's already mentioned how he'd taken inspiration from NFL quarterback Tom Brady, who's currently an active player at the age of 45. But they both play entirely different games and positions. But if I had to choose which NBA player could play that long, it would definitely be LeBron. Given how well he takes care of his body, a 43-year-old LeBron James would definitely still be a very valuable player, maybe not an all-star, but a very good player. He hasn't played over 70 games in a season since his last year with the Cleveland Cavaliers. In 2018, he missed well over 20 games due to a groin injury, which was when many people believed Father Time was finally catching up to him. While in the 2019 season, he stayed relatively healthy. The groin injury was a lingering problem. In his third season as a Laker, he'd once again missed well over 20 games due to an ankle injury. Injuries are expected at this point in his career, but not only that, he is ranked second in all-time minutes played and will be number one by the time his career finished. Last season, LeBron averaged 37 minutes per night, which is the highest number of minutes he's played since 2016. Many would argue it's because he's chasing stats and accolades, but LeBron's teams usually fall apart without him on the floor. I've seen a 12-point lead get cut down to 4 in just a couple of minutes of LeBron resting. Now, of course he wants the stats and accolades to help strengthen his GOAT case, but to suggest he prefers stats over winning is just ridiculous. With the Lakers looking to compete for a title this season, I think it's safe to say that LeBron will once again have a high usage rate and will have to assert a lot of energy in order for them to accomplish their goal. Without a reliable star around him, it will be extremely difficult for him to rest and take time off during the season. Honestly, LeBron's future in Los Angeles relies heavily on how well Anthony Davis can perform in the next 2 seasons. Even though Lakers' new head coach Darvin Ham said he wanted to lessen LeBron's workload, we all know whenever he is on the court, he demands the ball and his teammates will defer to him without hesitation. The idea of LeBron becoming an off-ball becomes laughable every year. With that being said, Bronny has been receiving a lot of praise for how well he is playing this summer. It almost seems like he's going viral every other week. He's had one highlight play after another. The most honorable thing about him is how composed and unbothered he is when playing on the court. He appears to be very humble and rarely forces things when playing. The same can be said about Bryce James. I'm sure LeBron has taught them everything there is to know about handling pressure on and off the court. So yes, it is possible for LeBron to play with both his sons, but it will require a lot of work from them individually. Bronny will have to keep progressing and improving his game, Bryce will have to do the same, and LeBron will have to remain healthy even after all the mileage he's used up. Everything will have to fall in place perfectly for this to happen, and it will be very challenging to overcome the obstacles. Both Bronny and Bryce James have the potential to be really good players in their own right. They receive top-level training and mentorship from the most experienced professionals out there. Bronny has all the intangibles to be great at the next level, and surely LeBron isn't the only one focused on potential pairing. I'm sure the idea of playing on the same team as his father excites him. And not only that, it motivates him and makes him even hungrier to make this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity become reality. Did you enjoy the video? If so, hit the like button and subscribe to NBA Swish for more amazing NBA content exactly like this. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next one.